There's a difference between existing and living. Some people wake up every day and they go through the motions. They punch the clock, they collect the paycheck, they come home tired, and they repeat it all over again. And somewhere along the way, they forget why they're here. They forget that this life is not a rehearsal. Find your calling, not just a career. The big difference between the two, even though the world often tries to blur the lines. A career is something you do. A calling is something you are. A career can be a job you chose because it offers stability, benefits, and a paycheck. It's a way to make a living. But your calling is the reason you were put here. It's the unique blend of talents, passions, and experiences that only you have. And it's meant to be used, not just for yourself, but for the people around you and the world you touch. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a career. There's honor in showing up, doing your work with integrity, providing for yourself and your family. But if all you have is a job that pays the bills, without a sense of deeper purpose, after a while, it wears on you. You wake up, punch the clock, go through the motions. Sure, you might get promotions, you might climb a ladder, but eventually you start to wonder, is this it? Am I just working to make a living, or am I living to make a difference? That question has kept more people up at night than they care to admit. A job fills your wallet. A calling fills your life. You were given something that no one else on this planet has. Your gifts, your voice, your story. And that's not an accident. You weren't meant to keep those things bottled up or buried under the weight of a job that doesn't spark your soul. You were meant to use what's inside you, to create, to build, to serve, to lead, to heal, to inspire. Whatever it is, it's waiting for you to claim it. It's waiting for you to stop settling and start living in alignment with who you really are. You don't have to hate your job to be called to something more. Sometimes people stay where they are because it's comfortable, because it's familiar, because they're good at it and they get praised for it. But just because you're good at something doesn't mean it's your calling. You can be great at crunching numbers and still be called to teach kids how to dream. You can be a successful manager and still be called to write words that change lives. Your calling doesn't always line up with your job description, and that's okay. What matters is whether you're listening to that quiet voice inside you that says, there's more. A calling feeds your soul because it connects you to something bigger than yourself. It's not just about getting something, it's about giving something, a piece of yourself, a piece of your heart. And when you do that, you find a level of fulfillment that no paycheck can provide. You lie down at night knowing you made an impact, that someone's life is better because you showed up fully as yourself. But here's the truth. Finding your calling isn't always easy. Sometimes it's hidden under years of doubt, fear, and doing what you thought you were supposed to do. Sometimes it gets drowned out by responsibilities and routines. But it's there. It's always been there. And you can find it again if you're willing to get quiet and listen. Listen to what excites you. Listen to what breaks your heart. Listen to what you can't stop thinking about, even when you try to push it away. Your calling isn't just for you. It was never meant to be. The dream you have, that idea that keeps you up at night, it's meant to serve someone else, someone who needs what you have, someone who's waiting on you to step into your purpose so they can find hope or healing or direction. Your calling has a ripple effect you may never fully see. But I promise you this, when you walk in your calling, lives change, including your own. Don't let fear keep you trapped in a life that's too small for you. Don't settle for safe when your soul is longing for more. It's not too late. You haven't missed your chance. Whether you're 20 or 60, whether you're just starting out or thinking about starting over, you can still find your calling. You can still live a life that lights you up from the inside out. Finding your calling doesn't always mean quitting your job tomorrow and moving across the world. Sometimes it's about starting small, volunteering, mentoring, writing after hours, speaking up in rooms where your voice matters. One step at a time, you start to align your life with your purpose. And over time, that calling starts to grow. It becomes clearer, stronger, and one day you realize you're no longer just working for a paycheck, you're living for a purpose. So find your calling. Don't settle for less. You have something this world needs, and the only way to give it is to stop hiding, stop waiting, and start living it out, boldly, bravely, and fully. A job pays the bills. But your purpose feeds your soul. Embrace fear and fail forward. It's not just a nice phrase to put on a poster or a motivational quote to share online. It's a way of life for anyone who dares to chase something greater. Fear is part of the process. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're not ready. It means you're alive. It means you're standing on the edge of something new, something bigger than where you've been. And when you're standing there, staring down the unknown, fear shows up. That's normal. That's human. But fear doesn't have to be your enemy. It can be your fuel. If you're not feeling a little fear, you're not stretching yourself. You're staying safe. You're staying comfortable. And comfort zones are exactly that, comfortable. But nothing grows there. You don't discover what you're made of sitting on the sidelines. You find that out when you step into the arena, when you take the shot, when you risk failing. And yes, you will fail. That's part of it. If you're not failing, you're not trying. If everything you're doing feels safe, feels easy, then you're playing small. And you were never meant to play small. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's the lesson. It's the teacher that shows you where to get better, how to get stronger. Every failure carries something valuable, but only if you're willing to look at it for what it is, an opportunity. Most people are so afraid of failing that they don't try at all. They stay stuck. They keep their dreams in their back pocket because it feels safer not to risk it. But the truth is, not trying is its own kind of failure. It's the failure of potential, the failure of never knowing what could have been if you just stepped out. You've got to fall down, not once, not twice, but maybe a dozen times or more. Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. That's where character is built. That's where resilience is born. It's not in the success, it's in the struggle. It's in the moments when you wonder if you can get back up again, and you do. Not because it's easy, but because you made a decision that you're not done yet. You're not finished. You still have something left to give. We live in a world where success is celebrated, but failure is hidden. You see the highlight reels, the wins, the awards, the victories, but what you don't always see are the sleepless nights, the closed doors, the rejections, the times they almost quit. Every successful person has failed many times. The difference is they didn't let failure stop them. They learned from it. They got better. They failed forward. Failing forward means you use every setback as a setup for something greater. You take what went wrong and you ask, what can I learn? How can I improve? What's the lesson here? You don't waste the pain. You don't waste the disappointment. You gather it all up and you let it refine you. You let it shape you into someone stronger, wiser, more prepared for what's next. Fear will whisper lies to you. It will tell you that failure means you're not good enough, that you should quit, that you're wasting your time. But fear is a liar. The truth is, failure is feedback. It's information. It's a sign you're in the game. You're moving. You're growing. And the only people who never fail are the ones who never try. But you're not one of them. You're here to do more, to be more. You have to be willing to take the hit and keep moving forward, to hear no and still believe in your yes, to fall flat on your face and get back up with dirt on your hands and fire in your heart. Because that's where greatness is forged. Not in the moments when everything goes right, but in the moments when it all goes wrong and you choose to keep going anyway. Some of the greatest achievements in history were built on a foundation of failure. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. They didn't let failure define them, they let it drive them. They failed forward. And you can too. You have a choice. You can let fear and failure stop you, or you can let them shape you. You can let them make you bitter, or you can let them make you better. Every time you fail and get back up, you become stronger than the last time. Every time you stare fear in the face and take the next step, you take back your power. Fear is part of the process. Failure is part of the journey. Don't run from them. Embrace them. Let them teach you. Let them push you forward. Because on the other side of fear and failure is everything you've been hoping for, everything you've been working for. And when you finally get there, you'll realize it wasn't in spite of the fear and failure, it was because of them. So don't be afraid to fall. Don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. That's how you win. That's how you grow. That's how you live the life you were meant to live, inspired by being authentic. In a world where people are constantly curating their lives to appear perfect, where social media highlights only the best moments, where filters hide flaws and captions mask reality, authenticity stands out. Realness cuts through the noise like a light in the dark. People are hungry for what's genuine. They're craving truth, honesty, and connection. And you don't have to be famous, powerful, or rich to give that to them. You just have to be real. There's something magnetic about a person who isn't afraid to show up as themselves. No pretense, no mask, no act, just their raw, unfiltered self. When you choose to be authentic, you give permission to others to do the same. You become the mirror that shows someone they're not alone in what they're feeling or facing. Your story might seem ordinary to you because you've lived it, but to someone else, it could be the hope they've been desperately searching for. Your struggles, the things you've survived, the moments you thought would break you, but didn't. Those are the things that connect you to others. Not your highlight reel, not your accomplishments alone, but the fight it took to get there. The truth is, we all want to believe that we can overcome, that we can get back up, that our pain has a purpose. And when someone stands up and says, I've been through it, I know what it feels like, and I made it, something powerful happens. Hope wakes up in people. You don't need a stage or a spotlight to inspire someone. Sometimes the greatest impact comes from a quiet conversation, a word of encouragement in a hard moment, a shared story that says, me too, I've been there. You may never know the ripple effect your honesty can have on someone's life. You may never see the way your words keep someone going when they wanted to quit. But it's happening whether you realize it or not. Authenticity changes lives. We live in a time when everyone seems to be chasing more followers, more likes, more attention. But the truth is, more doesn't always mean deeper. More doesn't always mean meaningful. Authenticity isn't about numbers, it's about connection. It's about being willing to show up and be seen as you truly are. That's not always easy. It takes courage to be real. It takes strength to say, this is who I am, this is what I've been through. But that's what makes it so powerful. People connect with people, not perfection, not polished performances. They connect with the human experience, the ups, the downs, the struggles, the victories. They connect with vulnerability because it makes them feel safe to be vulnerable too. When you share your truth, you open a door for someone else to do the same. And in that space of honesty, healing happens. Your story matters, every part of it. The hard chapters, the messy ones, the parts you thought you'd never tell anyone, those hold power. Because when you speak them out loud, they lose their shame, they lose their grip. And instead of being a source of pain, they become a source of light for someone else. What once made you feel broken can now make someone else feel whole. You may not feel qualified to inspire anyone. You may think, who am I to say anything? I'm still figuring things out. But here's the truth. No one has it all figured out. And you don't have to be at the finish line to help someone who's just starting their race. You only have to be one step ahead or even walking beside them. Your presence, your willingness to be real is enough. Inspiration isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about showing up even when you're still learning, still growing, still healing. That's what makes it authentic. That's what makes it relatable. People don't need another untouchable example of success. They need someone who reminds them that they're not alone in the messy middle. There's someone out there who needs to hear what you've been through. Someone who needs to see that you made it through the storm, that you're still standing. Someone who needs to believe that it's possible for them too. Don't rob the world of your story because you're waiting for it to be perfect. It's powerful right now, just as it is. When you live authentically, you inspire without even trying. Just by being you, just by telling the truth, just by showing up fully present in your life, you give others permission to do the same in theirs. And that's where real change happens. That's where hope is born. You don't have to be famous to inspire someone. You don't need a platform or a title. You just have to be real. Your authenticity, your truth, your willingness to share your heart, that's what will spark hope in someone else's darkness. That's what will remind them to keep going. And in a world that's desperate for something real, that's exactly what we need. Leave a legacy, not just memory. That's the calling. That's the challenge. At the end of your life, when the dust settles and the noise quiets, all that's left is what you stood for, what you gave, and who you lifted along the way. The truth is, we're all writing our story right now, every single day. And the question you've got to ask yourself is, what kind of story are you leaving behind? Memories are important. They are precious, but memories fade with time. They soften around the edges. What lasts is the impact you make on the people around you. What lasts is how you made them feel. What lasts is whether you lived in a way that challenged others to believe in more, to do more, to be more. You have a choice to live a life that's bigger than yourself. One that doesn't just take, but gives. One that doesn't just survive, one that doesn't just exist, but inspires. Ask yourself, what will they say when your name is mentioned, long after you're gone, after your job title means nothing and the things you owned are scattered? What will your name stand for? Will it carry weight? Will it stir something in people's hearts? Will it spark them to remember how you made them better, how you lifted them up when they were down, how you pushed them to reach higher than they thought they could? Leaving a legacy isn't about having your name on a building. It's not about fame or fortune or recognition. A legacy is built in the moments nobody sees. It's built in the choices you make when there's no spotlight, when there's no applause. It's built in the way you treat people, in how you show up when it's hard, in whether or not you lived with integrity when no one was watching. It's the imprint you leave on people's hearts, not their news feeds. Some people live their whole lives chasing temporary things, chasing status, or chasing money, chasing approval. But when you chase those things, you're building on sand. Eventually, the wind and the waves will come and they'll wash it all away. But when you live for something deeper, for love, for truth, for justice, for lifting others, you're building on rock. You're laying down a foundation that lasts long after. Living for a legacy means thinking beyond today, beyond yourself. It's planting seeds for trees whose shade you may never sit under. It's doing things now that might not pay off for you, but will make the way clearer for someone else. It's living so that when people talk about you years from now, they talk about how you made them feel braver, stronger, seen, and valued. You don't have to be a world leader or a best-selling author to leave a legacy. You can be a parent who raises a child to be kind and courageous. You can be a teacher who believes in the kid nobody else noticed. You can be the person who shows up, who loves fiercely, who gives freely, who forgives quickly, who encourages relentlessly. That's legacy. And that kind of life outlives you. Your legacy starts now. It's in the words you speak today. It's in the time you give. It's in the choices you make when you'd rather take the easy way but choose the right way instead. It's in how you love the people in your life. Don't wait for some distant moment to start thinking about it. Every action is writing your story now. And here's the truth. Legacy isn't just about doing something great. It's about being someone great. Being someone who shows up with love, with courage, with authenticity. Being someone who lifts others higher. Because in the end, no one will remember the things you had, but they will remember who you were. Your character, your heart, your example. When you leave this world, make sure you leave it better because you were here. Make sure you've poured out what was placed in you. Make sure you've lived in such a way that other people stand taller because they knew you. That's what legacy looks like. That's how you keep living even after you're gone. Think about the people who changed your life. The ones who believed in you when you couldn't believe in yourself. The ones whose words still ring in your ears, whose actions still inspire you to keep going. They may be gone, but their legacy is alive every time you push through, every time you reach out, every time you show up for someone else because they once showed up for you. You can be that person for someone else right now. You can be the reason someone doesn't give up. You can be the spark that lights someone's dream. You can be the anchor that keeps someone steady in the storm. That's legacy. That's a life well lived. So don't just live for yourself, live to inspire others to reach higher, go further, and be better. Live in a way that makes people want to carry your example forward. Leave a legacy that's bigger than memories, a legacy that makes the world better because you were here. Live it like you were born for more, because you were. Don't just exist, live. Don't just breathe, inspire.